And going back to the global perspective of events, and we've seen the political uprisings in the Middle East, and especially the situation in Bahrain is critical because there are fears that it might spread to Saudi Arabia, and that would cause the oil price to skyrocket, even reaching $200. That is expected if the situation spreads to Saudi Arabia. How do you see the scenario if such a thing happens?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That would be a disaster. Most economies are highly dependent upon oil. Our economies are driven by energy, and energy is still mainly fossil energy, and this is mainly oil. And yes, if the situation in Bahrain would escalate, that could happen. If oil deliveries from Saudi Arabia would be stopped even for a few months or would be reduced, let's say by 50%, the effects would be the short-term effects would be disastrous. The main, especially for the United States, they are still the country which is highly dependent upon energy and oil imports. It is one of the most energy-intense countries in the world. Also for China, it is now the same. And to some degree, but also for the Western world. And now, let's have a look at Germany. When we can read that because of some problems with the nuclear energy in Japan, that when right now in this moment some reactors in Germany are shut down, just to make a popular move for the newspaper, then I cannot understand that. In Japan, what happens now? 11 reactors are shut down, and that means they are burning now each day 200,000 barrels more of oil, more than before. Okay, then the 7 reactors in Germany, that gets another 100,000 barrels of oil. That is close to 50% of the Libyan output. And if we would shut down all reactors worldwide, then things would escalate. So that is, nuclear energy will not perfectly substitute oil, but we should definitely not shut down the reactors. It's the only significant alternative to the oil sector.
And we had so many high hopes for nuclear energy production, especially here in the region. And Egypt was one of the countries that was looking for nuclear energy as an alternative source of energy. So how do you see such plans now?
I see these plans very positive because, as I said before, I still think that nuclear energy is the best alternative we have. In the long run, it will be nuclear fission. We are still working about nuclear fission. There is now a huge project in Europe. It is worldwide based. And okay, nuclear fission is just the opposite of what we are doing now in the nuclear industry. Nuclear fission is like what is happening in the sun, and it would really solve our energy problems. But this is still far away. Right now, we have some nuclear reactors, but they are saving a lot of resources. And finally, we have to accept, okay, there is some risk. But now let's have a look at Chernobyl. Let's have a look at Japan. What happened right now? In Japan, so far, 0 deaths because of nuclear energy. Perhaps there will be some. We don't hope, but there will be some because of radiation there. But it should be restricted.
But don't you think it will be affecting some countries? They might reconsider their nuclear plans in the coming period, especially after what happened in Japan?
Yes, it will happen. You can see it in Germany. The German government is always trying to follow these popular trends, and the German population is very skeptical about nuclear energy, and the same may happen in other countries. But you ask, what do you think about it? And my opinion here is very clear. Yes, let us make less dependent upon fossil energy, also to stop climate change. That is a much larger threat than nuclear energy. And so for the time being, for the next 50 years or so, we need it. And after 50 years, we will have, with some luck, the nuclear fission, which is not dangerous at all. There is also no nuclear waste from that. And it looks like being a very cheap energy. Solar energy, in comparison, you need alone 10 years to recover the energy you need to produce that photovoltaic elements.
But you've mentioned the case of Germany, but what about countries like Egypt and developing countries that would find it extremely hard to deal with a disaster that has happened, like a disaster that has happened in Japan, and might now reconsider the nuclear energy plans? Do you think they should consider it the same manner as the Germans do?
No, my recommendation would be go on with this plan. You have Egypt is a large country. Maybe, of course, they should not be just in case, they should not be around Cairo or in the Nile Delta, but let's say 50 kilometers or so in the desert. And I think the engineers will be able to find a solution for the cooling problem or close to the coastline at the Mediterranean Sea or so. And the main problem I see is, okay, how to get the capital. Yes. So we are again back to the problem of how to finance that huge investment into a capital stock. Each reactor is about $5 billion of US dollars. And to make it a meaningful contribution, there should be, let's say, 5 to 10 reactors. That means over a time interval of 10 years, that's the time you need to build the reactors. You will have to invest around $50 billion of US dollars. I think the number should be more to a higher number than to a lower one.
Professor Guenter Lang, professor at the Department of Economics at the German University in Cairo, we thank you so much for joining us on the Daily Debate.
You're welcome. Thank you.